Welcome to Roughing It with Ruth, the channel where everything is a bit rough around the edges. As cool as all of the hiking gear out there is, there's really only one thing that you need to start hiking or backpacking. Shoes might not be as glamorous as some of the other gear, but they can make or break your hiking trip more than any other piece of equipment. I've used several different types of hiking shoe. I've used approach shoes, I've used trail runners, I've used hiking boots, I've tried hiking in gum boots, and I've tried using really budget trainers. What I have found is the most important thing when choosing a shoe to hike in is how comfortable it is. It has to fit your foot like a slipper. If you try it on in the store and there's any sort of niggle at all, don't get it. That is going to be amplified 1,000 times over when you're actually hiking. The biggest mistake that most beginner hikers make is to get a shoe that's too small, either that is too short or one that is too narrow. When you're on your feet for an extended amount of time, your feet tend to swell. So if you get a shoe that's too small, it is really going to constrict your foot and cause blisters or black toenails or just pain in general. While hiking footwear is really important, and I do recommend allocating a bit more of your budget towards your footwear than to anything else, it doesn't mean that you have to spend a huge amount of money to get a shoe that you can hike in. Lots of people think that they have to get a hiking specific boot before they can actually hike, and that's just not true. Especially if you're starting out and you're not going to be on very technical terrain, then getting a regular sneaker or tacky, as we call them in South Africa, is just fine. Hiking boots tend to be a bit heavier, and some people dislike that, but because they are made from heavier, more durable material, they do also tend to last longer. So if a hiking boot is the most comfortable thing for your foot and it does cost a bit more money, then try to justify it by thinking that the boot will last a little bit longer than a regular sneaker. While trail runners are more lightweight, especially if you use them for backpacking where you are carrying more weight, they tend to wear down a lot faster. The nice thing about them is that there's less weight on your feet, so your legs get a little bit less fatigued. They also generally allow water to escape more easily than a hiking boot, so they can dry out faster, and they're more flexible than a hiking boot, which allows more feel as you're walking over the terrain. As you start hiking in more technical areas, you're going to want to start thinking about getting a shoe that has better grip. And once again, there are sneakers or trainers out there that have absolutely perfect grip, and that would work for hiking. While hiking footwear might not be the sexiest piece of gear that you own, it is really important, and I do recommend putting a bit more effort into finding a shoe that really fits you well, because your feet are going to thank you when you're out on the trails. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more.